Hey everyone, this is Kelsey. This is day one of Bookmas, and I am so excited to be doing this series again. Bookmas is a lot of work, so if you see anybody doing Vlogmas, Bookmas, whatever, just know to post that many videos, that many days in a row is exhausting. So if you can't tell, my voice is still very gone because of my toddler. It's just a lot to do this. It's really fun, but it is a lot. So my Bookmas is going to be mostly like year-end stat type posts, goals. There's gonna be some fun stuff thrown in. Today I wanted to do the 24 in 2024. I am doing this a little differently. So there's a graphic that I really see primarily on Instagram, and it is the 12 books recommended by 12 friends. So I did that. There's 12 books here recommended by 12 friends. But I also did this last year and I didn't get to all the books. And after going through the list of those books, I've read some, but I culled those down even further. So some of them that I didn't read last year, I'm moving to this year because they are books I do want to read. That's how I kind of started this list, is I did 12 books that people recommended to me. I pulled some books from the 12 books last year that I didn't get to. And then I went through the remaining amount and just was like books that I wanted to read, have kind of been on my TBR for a while. One of my oldest books on my TBR is on this stack. And then there's some books in here that I think you guys are gonna be excited about that I'm gonna read. So we will get into it with the 24 books I'm gonna read. First, I'm gonna start off with the books recommended to me by 12 friends. So I made a graphic right here and you'll see them. But the books that were recommended to me by 12 friends, first I have The Sun Does Shine by Anthony Ray Hinton. And this is co-written with Laura Love Hardin. And she wrote The Many Lives of Mama Love this year. That's gotten a lot of love. As an attorney, I'm kind of embarrassed that I haven't read this yet, but this is basically, he was wrongfully convicted and ended up, I think the Innocence Project is actually what got him out of prison. So this is just a memoir about that system. And then The Symphony of Secrets is the second book by Brendan Slocum. I loved The Violin Conspiracy, and so this is one of my most anticipated releases of 2023 that I never got to. So when one of my friends recommended this to me, I was very excited about it. And then I have I'm gonna get this wrong. So Denise Williams is a local to me romance author that I've never read. And so one of my friends recommended Do You Take This Man by Denise Williams. So I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be like a rom-com, just nice, exactly what I need. And then my friend Jane, I believe, recommended The Great Believers by Rebecca Makkai. I have not read anything by Rebecca Makkai, although I do have her newest on Libro FM. I think this is about the rise of AIDS, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It's always been on my TBR, I just haven't ever gotten to it. So I'm excited that this got that up there. And then my old boss asked me to read The Animators. I know nothing about this book, so that's what I'm going into blind. And then I've got Going Zero, which Lindsay recommended to me, and I think that this sounds kind of like Blake Crouch, which me and my husband both love. So I really hope I love it so that I can pass it on to my husband, because I'm always trying to get him to read, but he likes very specific types of books. So this is one I'm really excited about. My friend Becky recommended Whale Fall, which is another one I'm hoping I will love and then my husband might love too. This book just has the coolest cover, and the cover is so memorable. It's like a scuba diver, well, it's right here, but the scuba diver going into the whale's mouth sounds really interesting. But this man gets stuck in a whale, I think. And then Jordan recommended The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlain, and her and I do really like the same historical fiction, so I'm really glad that she recommended that to me, because I have not read Diane Chamberlain and I've been really intrigued by her, and I know a lot of people really love her. I just haven't had a reason to read anything by her. And then the final there's four. So The Widow of Rose House by Diane Biller. This was actually on this list for me 3 years ago and I never read it, so I'm kind of excited that someone else told me I needed to read this again. And then Shark Heart is one that was recommended, and I am so intrigued by this, and I have a feeling I'm gonna bawl my eyes out. But basically, in this world, people can turn into animals, and this couple, the husband starts turning into a shark. And so I think it's like the look at that transition and all of that. It sounds really, really good. I am really excited because I love Kate Morton and I have every book that she's written, but I haven't read all of them. So The Distant Hours was recommended to me by Kate Morton. She writes like gothic mystery, historical fiction kind of that flashes back in time. This is a haunting tale of long-buried family secrets, the origins of a classic children's book, the vagaries of war, and the twist of fate that can bring people together or crush their hopes forever. And like, even look at the Like, this is just the end papers, and it's the true history. So it looks like it's gonna be a book within a book. That sounds really good. Finally, the Magnolia Palace is the final one that was recommended as the 12 books recommended by 12 friends. And that is by Fiona Davis. She is a historical fiction author I really love because she takes like present day and goes to the past, but there's a sense of mystery in it. She's just really, really fun. Actually, her and Kate Morton kind of remind me of each other. So those are the 12 books recommended by 12 friends. And then the books that I'm carrying over from last year, there's not very many. So first is Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. This is a book of the month. I'm ashamed I didn't get to this year, so enough said. And then Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkinson. I had every intent of reading this, but alas, did not. And the other one that I'm carrying over is Lease on Love by Fallon Ballard, because I know a lot of people really loved that romance and I just couldn't get it checked out in time. That's another one carrying over. All right, so this last stack are books that I really have wanted to get to for some reason or another and just haven't, and I'm just tired of them being on my shelf. So first is the Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop. This is actually 3 books in one, and I think it might be kind of the inspiration of like romantasy. It's the saga of one young woman's destiny played out against the backdrop of 3 powerful realms. 700 years ago, a Black Widow witch saw an ancient prophecy come to life in her web of dreams. Now the Dark Realm readies itself for the arrival of its queen, the witch, who will wield more power than ever, even the High Lord of Hell himself. But the queen is still young, still open to influence and corruption. Whoever controls the queen controls the darkness. 3 men know this, and they know the power that hides behind the blue eyes of an innocent young girl. So thus begins a ruthless game of politics and intrigue, magic and betrayal, where the weapons are hate and love and the prize could be terrible beyond imagining. Sounds really interesting. A local bookstore of mine tried to get Barbara Kingsolver to their bookstore, and they could do that if they sold the most copies of Demon Copperhead. So I'm finally going to try to read this because I bought it. They ended up losing. They were in like 2nd place, which is sad, but I've just heard great things about this. I know it's dark, I know it's heavy, but Barbara Kingsolver can do no wrong. And then, okay, I'm gonna save a few of these for last because I just think you guys will laugh at me or be excited. Louise Penny, A World of Curiosities. This is the most recent release, and I wanna be completely caught up on this series for the new one that will come out next fall. Some nonfiction that I have. First is Oklahoma City, What the Investigation Missed and Why It Still Matters. I got this from the Pantsuit Politics book club back in the day, and I just think it sounds really interesting, so I would like to read that as nonfiction. And then Uprooted, Recovering the Legacy of the Places We've Left Behind by Grace Olmstead. This was sent to me by Fabled. I also have it on NetGalley, so I wanted to get books that I owned physically and in NetGalley off my shelf. And then The Lovely War was a Modern Mrs. Darcy book club pick a few years back, and I just have never gotten to it. This is about like the gods dueling against each other and using humanity during World War I and II to kind of like prove their points. So it just sounds really interesting. It is young adult, which I didn't know that at the time. And I just think the cover's gorgeous. Okay, the last 3 are books that I'm embarrassed I haven't read yet. Very first one is 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I have not read very much Stephen King. I read The Stand. I think that's it. So I've heard that this is like not horror, so that's one of the draws to this, but I've just heard nothing but good things about this, so I'm excited to finally read that. And then the Scythe series, I'm gonna read the first one. I probably will read all 3 of them just knowing what I know. My husband loves these books, so I'm really excited to read that finally. And then also Ninth House, because I've never read it and I'm embarrassed about it. So Ninth House, and I'll probably read Hellbent too if I am the way that I am. So those are the 24 books in 2024 that I would like to read, and I'm very, very excited. So this stack looks really fun. Until the next video, everybody, I'll see you later. Bye.